Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I am starting such an exciting reading vlog. I've been waiting to film this all summer, and the fact that it's finally here, I'm just so excited. And that is going to be my SUMMERWEEN vlog. This is a readathon hosted by Gabby Reads and Olivia Reads a Latte, and I'm just so excited because I love all things Halloween. I love all things spooky, and the fact that I get to spend a week out of my summer doing just those things and reading those books, fantastic. Love the concept. Top tier. So just gonna get into it. I'm gonna start with my little TBR for the week, and I'm so excited. So there are 5 prompts that you can follow, but I think I'm only doing 4 of them maybe. There's another one that I just don't really have a book that I want to read for, so I'm just not gonna do it. But I do have like a couple extra books that don't fit the prompts that I'm also gonna be reading this week, so that is exciting. So first I'm going to start out with the books that I do have prompts for. So the first one is to read a book in the dark or at night. And for this one, I just wanted to choose a shorter book, and I've had this one in my sights for quite a while, and I'm so excited that I'm finally going to read it. And that is Carmilla by Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu. I read Dracula last week, and it was everything I could have wanted. I love vampire books, and the fact that I'm finally getting to some more classical literature about vampires is very exciting because I want to know the roots, you know. I want to see where all these stories come from, and these are the stories that all these things come from. So exciting. I loved Dracula, but actually the first sentence on the first blurb that's on the back of this book says that Carmilla kicks Dracula's ass. So I'm really excited about this one, and I think I'm gonna love it. The next one is to read a book with Halloween colors on the cover. Now, I'm a firm orange and black for Halloween kind of girl, like absolute top tier Halloween colors, but I didn't have a book that I wanted to read with those colors on the cover. So instead, I'm going with green and black on the cover, and that is going to be The Girl from the Well by Rin Chupeco. This says that it is part The Ring, part The Grudge, and part The Exorcist. Now, I've never seen any of those movies, but I like the vibes. I find that movies do scare me, like scary movies. I do get scared by those, but books don't scare me. But I feel like if I were to watch those, I would be scared by them. So I'm hoping this will kind of scare me. I just want to be scared at one point in time this week. I don't think I've ever read a book that like has fully terrified me, so like that is my goal. I mean, I don't think this is gonna fully terrify me because this is a young adult book, and I don't think it's gonna be like that scary, but just like at some point my goal is to find a book that actually scares me. But like I think this has potential to at least scare me a little bit, so that's the goal. I think I watched like Scary Movie 3 when I was like 10, and it has, I think, the scene of the girl from The Ring coming out of the well, and that was terrifying. I was scarred, frankly. So hopefully some of that trauma has stuck around, and this book will also scare me. The next one is to read a book with haunt in the title, and originally I didn't have a book for this and I was just gonna skip it, but like 10 minutes ago I was looking through the SUMMERWEEN like Instagram story for their Instagram page, and I saw that somebody was using this like in their TBR, and it sounded so interesting, and as soon as I saw it I was like, yes, I should read that. And it is called Ghostland, An American History in Haunted Places by Colin Dickey. I'm going to borrow the audiobook for it. I have a hold for it, which it said it was going to be ready soon, which usually means I'll probably get it in the next like 2 to 3 days, which will be good because I don't want to like read it right now anyway. But a history of haunted places, I'm like, yes, I want to hear the real stories. It's a non-fiction, which I just think is going to be so interesting, and I just think it sounds so fun. So I'm going to borrow the audiobook for that and hopefully Love it. We will see. And the fourth one is to read a slasher, which I'm just like not gonna do because I don't have a slasher that I want to read at the moment. And the fifth prompt is to bake or make a treat to go along with my spooky read. And this one I'm definitely gonna be making something pumpkin based. I don't know exactly what form that will be in yet, but we will we're gonna make that like later in the week, so I'll decide then. But I'm really excited for that because I haven't had anything pumpkin flavored since last October, which is a crime, you know? And then I also have 3 other books that I'm hoping that I can potentially get to this week. The first one is The Ghost Tree by Christina Henry. I just think this is gonna be a fun horror read. Obviously, that's why I have picked it for this video. I don't know anything about this book, honestly. I know there's a tree, and I assume there's some ghosts by it, so. Going in blind. Fun times. The next one is Dead Voices by Catherine Arden. This is the second book in a series, and I read Small Spaces, which is the first book last year, and I loved it. I just thought it was so fun. It's like a middle grade horror, so it's not scary, but it is like a little spooky, and it's fun. So hopefully I like this one. I think they go to like a cabin up in the mountains, potentially. Yeah, I think I tried reading this one last October, and I didn't get very far, so this dust jacket is on upside down. So hopefully I can make some more progress in it and finish it. I just think this will be a good kind of thing to break up the week. Something, you know, casual, light. Like the rest of these are scary, but you know what I mean. And then this is another late addition to my TBR, meaning I added it like, again, 10 minutes ago, because I wanted to read a Stephen King book this week because I haven't read any Stephen King books at all this year. And I like to read at least like one every year because I do love Stephen King's writing. It's always just a fun time, but getting myself to start them is hard because all of his books are so long. But this one is only 330 pages, so hopefully I can get through it. We'll see, because the concept of this one is really intriguing, and I have been meaning to read this for a while, and that is Gerald's Game. I believe I have an idea of what the synopsis of this book is. I think it's about this couple who is in like a kind of a remote location. Maybe they're at a cabin or a Maine summer house. Of course it takes place in Maine. And one of our characters is handcuffed to a bed for reasons, and I think the other character dies. So then this person is just like left handcuffed to a bed, and then things like start happening in the house, and frankly that sounds terrifying. So just the concept of this one has always intrigued me, and I'm excited to read it. So that's like reading plans. But I also have this project that I'm in the middle of that I'm hoping I can finish this week as well. And it's kind of fitting because I'm making it for fall, and it's in like fall colors, and Halloween, fall, close enough. So I'm making a cardigan, and I have like the big panels done. Those are like for the sleeves, but I still have to make like the body like panel, and I only have 4 of these squares done out of 27, so I have a lot of crocheting ahead of me, and I'm thinking I can pick up one of these books on audio so I can like listen to it while I do some crocheting. So that'll be nice. I just don't know which one I'm gonna pick up on audio. Well, the nonfiction I will have on audio, but I don't have it yet. So I'm thinking about reading The Ghost Tree via audio while I work on some crocheting, and I think that's what I'm going to start with today, just because I really want to do some crocheting. This has been a long intro, but I'm done talking now, so we're just going to get into the crocheting, the spooky reading, and I'm so excited for the next week. I don't know if I'm going to get through all the books. That remains to be seen, because there's like 6 of them now, but hopes are high. Let's get into it. So I have made it a whopping 1 chapter into The Ghost Tree, and honestly I can already tell you that I'm really going to enjoy this book. Just the setup for it I think is like everything I could possibly want in like a small town scary story kind of thing, because, well, the small town, it's called Smith's Hollow, which any town with hollow in the word I love. Sleepy Hollow, star is hollow. I'm sure there's another one that I just can't think of right now, but maybe this will be added to my list of favorite hollows. But I just love it already. It's set in the 80s, which I don't know what it is, but like horror things set in the 80s, top tier. It's about this 15-year-old whose dad died in the woods one day mysteriously, and like that's just such a good setup for the story. And I'm sure it's just gonna be us figuring out things about this town, about who could have potentially killed her dad and why, and I'm just so excited. The back of this says, the foundation of her seemingly normal home is rotten to the center, and if nobody else stands for the missing, she will. People keep dying, and she is gonna figure out who was killing these people. I'm so excited. I just think it's gonna be just a fun read. Look at this title page. Since I'm reading the audiobook, I didn't see this, but that's cool. Anyway, I'm just really liking this so far, and I think it's gonna be a really good audiobook for all of my crocheting that I plan to do. So let's get into listening to some more of the audiobook. Okay, so I have a couple of updates. First update is I have all of my brown squares done. Although the more I've made these, the more I realize this is like the exact same color as ground beef, and I don't know how to feel about that. Reading updates. Yes, I am now on page 109 of The Ghost Tree, and things are getting juicy, honestly. There were two girls who got like ripped to shreds and thrown in like some racist lady's old backyard, which, you know, like kind of deserve. But the police showed up, and there's this one officer who was like, this reminds me a lot of our main character's dad, who like kind of had similar things happen to him in the woods. And all of the other people there were like, bro, what are you talking about? So it's like they didn't remember that it happened. And I think it's just like there's a lot of weird things going on in this town, and we kind of just figured out what is happening to these girls and why. Not exactly what's doing it, but we figured out what the catalyst for all of these vicious murders was. Honestly, I was shocked. I gasped. I was like, there's no way, that's crazy. But it's also really interesting, and it's just so messed up in so many ways. Now I'm really excited to read the rest of it, just because I was not expecting that at all. You know, like it really came out of nowhere. I think my goal is gonna be to finish listening to it today. I'm really enjoying it. Like, it's really entertaining, and I think I'm definitely gonna have to check out more of Christina Henry's work. Like, I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna listen to some more, I'm gonna crochet some more, and then I will talk to you guys later. So I'm now up to part 2 of this book, which is page 155. It's called Among the Witches, and I'm really excited because I love a good witch moment, you know? Like, I'm really excited about this. Our main character Lauren is going to see her grandmother, and her grandmother has a true story about witches to tell her, and I'm like, yes, literally, what more could I ask for? I feel like this would be a really good Halloween movie, you know? Like, it's giving me those vibes. Not quite like a Disney Channel movie, because it is a little gruesome. I mean, some girls really got decapitated already in this book, but it just has those like small town vibes, and if there's like witches involved, then I'm so into it. And I'm making more progress with my crocheting, so I'm really hoping that I can get like all of these squares finished today so I can start constructing it tomorrow, because I'm gonna lose my mind if I have to spend another day making like 27 granny squares. I hate them. They're the bane of my existence, but it is the easiest way to like make something for me, at least, and the least time consuming probably, so hoping to get those done. Okay, so I just read part 2, which was really short. It was only like 15 pages, but I loved it so much. It kind of takes a break from the normal narrative of the story to go back in time to like the founding of this town, and it follows briefly 3 witches, and turns out there's like a curse on this town, and I won't say too much more just because it's really interesting to figure it all out. But I loved that part specifically. I loved the writing in it too. I want to read something like not set in modern day by Christina Henry, just because I feel like she could do fairy tales so well, which I think is kind of what she does. So I'm excited to try something like set in a more fantastical environment than, you know, just like the suburbs. So that's really exciting. I loved it, honestly. I just had to talk about it. So I'm gonna go read some more and I'll talk to you in a bit. Hello everybody, it's a little bit later, it's like 7, and I haven't made too much more progress with the ghost tree because I went out to dinner, so I have not been reading this. But I am gonna hop back into the audiobook, do some more crocheting tonight, and then I think I'm gonna start reading Carmilla when it gets like fully dark outside, but that's not for another like 2 hours-ish. So I just want to start this tonight. I don't think I'm gonna finish it, but just getting a little bit of the way into it would be fun. That's bright. I thought I would give you this update and then we could talk about Carmilla in a sec. Essentially in the dark, not really because I got my candles, you know, but I made it up to page 334 of the ghost tree. Some questionable things are happening, mainly because our main character is kind of interested in this guy, but she's 14 and he's 18, and I'm like, I don't like it. Something else that's happened with her best friend that I really do not like, but the rest of the story is very interesting. I really like the concept of this, and just the vibes of the story overall are immaculate. I'm having a good time, and it is kind of spooky, but like not really. There's the ghost tree. Having a good time. Now, since it is officially nighttime, I thought we could start reading Carmilla. I don't think I'm gonna read it by candlelight, just because I feel like that is bad for my eyes, but I could read the introduction, but I'm not going to read the introduction. Okay, the prologue is like 2 pages, so I think I might read the prologue in the dark, just for fun. I'm so scared that's gonna catch my books on fire, but for the vibes, we'll keep it going. I know a lot of big words in that prologue. Anyway, I really don't know how much of Carmilla I'm gonna read tonight. I'll probably hop back into reading some more of the ghost tree in a little bit, just because I think I could maybe finish it tonight. I'm kind of into it. I'm having a good time. I want to see what the resolve of the story is gonna be. Hello everybody, it is Saturday afternoon and I am going to talk through my reading updates from last night. First of all, I'm up to page 421 of The Ghost Tree. I'm still really enjoying it and the plot is definitely thickening, and I'm really excited to see how this book is going to end. Although if anything happens to the main character's brother David, I will riot. That little kid is too precious and I love him. And I'm really liking the fact that there are so many different POVs going on in this book, because even though it jumps back and forth quite frequently, I find it to be really easy to follow, and I just like the way the story is being told and how it's unfolding. So I can't wait to read the last 80 pages of this book today. I'm really excited to see what the resolve in this book is going to be, because I feel like there's so many things happening that I don't know how it's going to get resolved in 80 pages. So I'm interested to see how that goes. And then last night I also made it up to chapter 3 of Carmilla, which is only page 23. But so far we have our main character who lives in this gorgeous, like, gothic castle, I think just with her dad and like servants. But look at this. I want to live there too. And they were standing outside one night and they see this carriage pull up to the castle, and this young girl got injured and she now has to stay with them while the person she was with goes to find help or something. I don't exactly know, but she's gonna be there for like a really long time, and I don't remember what the circumstances were actually. But I think the girl that is coming to stay with our main character is Carmilla, and I'm pretty sure she's a vampire. Like, that sounds about right. So I'm really excited to read some more of this once it gets dark today. So I think that's gonna be really fun. And then as soon as I finish the Ghost Tree, I don't know what I'm gonna pick up, but I think I'll just decide that at some other point in time. So I'm gonna go finish the Ghost Tree and then I will update you. So it's like 2 now and I just finished the Ghost Tree, and I really liked the ending of this book, although I realized there was an assumption that I was making that I just assumed to be true in my head about who a certain like character was, and it wasn't. So like that really confused me and definitely changed my opinion of this character in my head. It really confused me, but I think that was the point, because there is this character who is only referred to as he, and obviously like you're trying to figure out who this is, but I was just like assuming it was this one character. I don't know, that was confusing to me, but that's my own fault for assuming. But I really enjoyed this book. It did not go in the direction that I was like kind of thinking it was gonna go, but it was even better than I was expecting. I loved all of the magical elements in it, and I thought just the setting of this book was so good with the small town. There's a fair going on at one point, there's this creepy house on the hill, and there's this gnarled looking tree in the middle of the woods, and I just love the vibes. Very spooky, not really scary. I mean, there were a couple of decapitations, but it wasn't really explicitly described, so it's not really like gruesome or anything, if that could potentially turn you off, because I definitely recommend this book if you're looking for something good for fall. I know it's July right now, but you should definitely pick this up if you're looking for a good Halloween read. I really liked it. I'm really glad that I finally decided to get to this, and I will be ordering another Christina Henry book ASAP. Like, I just have to. So good start. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I have 3 that I could potentially read. Kind of leading towards Gerald's Game, just because it's, like I said yesterday, very intriguing. So I don't know. I do think though I'm gonna take a break from reading for a while, but continue on with my crocheting. I've made a lot of progress. I think I have 21 of these done now, so I only have 6 to go. But I think I'm gonna watch a movie. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna watch. I have a couple of ideas floating around, but I'm leaning towards watching Twilight again. It's not necessarily like a Halloween movie for me, but it's a fall movie, you know, and it's got vampires in it. Granted, they're not scary vampires, but I do love that movie, so I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna crochet while I watch it, and hopefully I can finish these squares today, because I'm getting real sick of making these squares. So those are the plans for the rest of the day. Okay, so it's later and I have finished all of my squares, all 27 of them. Thank God it's done, honestly. I have to connect all of these somehow. So not fun, but I think it'll be more satisfying than just making the squares. So I'm excited for that. I don't know how much more reading is gonna happen tonight. I'll probably read like a couple more chapters of Carmilla, but I'll save starting another book for tomorrow morning probably, because I'm kind of into watching Twilight right now, and I might go watch a couple more of them. Just because. They're honestly like really good movies for crocheting, because I don't always fully pay attention to them. so it's good to like have a little project going on while it's in the background, you know? I'm going to work on connecting all of these tonight. I'm just gonna see how far I can get, and I will update you later, maybe? It is later. It's probably like 10:30, 11ish maybe, but I have honestly had the best time today just rewatching Twilight and crocheting. I think I'm starting to just like unironically love that movie. The first hour of it, maybe up until the point where they play baseball, top tier. Like, I love it. Once the plot starts kicking in, I'm out. But honestly, I just love the first part of it. I don't want to say it's good because it's not like actually good, but I just love it. Honestly, I've seen it so many times since the first time I watched it in like 2010. I've probably seen it like on average 3 times a year, not gonna lie. I was obsessed with that movie, and I'm still like kind of obsessed with that movie. I don't even know, like I just always have the best time watching it. So my absolute favorite scene, like you did not ask me to talk about Twilight for this long, but here we are. My absolute favorite scene from the franchise is when Edward and Bella are standing like at the very top of a tall tree, and the camera starts like panning out, and Bella's lullaby, the song, starts playing in the background. That's when I get in my feels, honestly. Like, I don't know, I love that scene so much. But actually I learned that that scene is not like a green screen or anything like I assumed it was. Like, there were actually people at the top of that tree. Like, it wasn't Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart, but still, the fact that that actually happened honestly increases my anxiety levels by like 10. But it's a really cool thing to like know, because the version of Twilight that I was watching had all the extended stuff at the end and I had to watch it. So anyway, as far as my crocheting has gone, I've made a lot of progress. If I could grab the right piece, there we go. I have connected the back panel, and I'm working on the front panel. I have the sleeves done, and my fingers just can't take it anymore today, honestly. So I think I'm done for now with my crocheting, but I will hop back into it tomorrow when I inevitably start watching Eclipse. You know, like, I think I have to. I watched the first 10 minutes of New Moon. I don't know why, because I don't like that movie, but I wanted to watch the part up until Edward left, and then I was out, because watching Bella be depressed for like an hour and a half, I'm out. I really can't do it. Although that one scene where she's sitting there and the camera is like slowly panning around her as the months change is cool. I do kind of love that scene, but the rest of it, I'm out. I can't do it. Also, that scene at the end where Bella is like running towards Edward, trying to get to him before he like exposes himself or whatever, so the Volturi will like kill him, stresses me out every time. Even though I know she's gonna make it, it still stresses me out. But I just can't do it. I don't like that movie. I don't like the book. It's just a big no for me. But I've talked about it. I feel like I've talked about my specific hatred for that book a lot recently. So yeah, like I said, it's like 11. I'm gonna read a couple of chapters of Carmilla. I think I'm just gonna read this one slowly over the week, like at night, you know, just like a couple chapters. I don't think it's too many. How many chapters is this? 14. So I have 14 chapters to go in 6 days. So that's like 3-ish chapters a day, a little less than 3, but I'm gonna round up to 3. So I'm gonna like maybe try and read 3 chapters tonight so I can like just stay on track, and then I'm gonna like start a book tomorrow, or I'm just gonna watch Eclipse. I don't know. I'm taking this readathon in a very chill manner. Like, if I don't hit all the prompts, I mean, I wasn't gonna hit all the prompts anyway, but even if I don't hit the ones that I thought I was gonna hit, it's fine. I'm kind of just focusing on making this, you know, week cozy, just having a good time doing all of the things that I like to do around Halloween, which I'm already working on. So yes, I always rewatch Twilight every year, so had to give it a rewatch now, but I will probably be rewatching it again in October. Like, it's not, I know, okay, I'm gonna stop talking about Twilight. I'm gonna stop talking about Twilight now. Although rewatching the movie does really make me want to reread the book. Like, I read it a couple years ago, but I kind of want to put myself through that torture again, because it's not that I like the book, but whenever I read books that have movie adaptations, it's like I get to just hang out in the movie for however long it takes me to read the book, and I am absolutely down for that. The vibes are immaculate. But I'm not gonna reread Twilight in this vlog. That's not what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna save it for like November. I feel like that's a really good time to read Twilight. Again, I'm talking too much about Twilight, so I'm gonna reread Carmilla. I'm gonna read Carmilla now, just a couple chapters, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. This proves I really should not talk to the camera past like 10, honestly. Like, that is my limit, and then I just start to ramble about everything. So I hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't, I'm so sorry. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello everybody, it is now Sunday. It is quite a bit later in the day because this morning I've been spending like all of my time editing the last couple days of footage, because I realized I can't just shove all of this into one vlog, because that vlog is going to be like an hour and a half long, and while I don't mind long videos, that's a little too long. So I'm gonna like split it into 2 parts. So the video that you're watching right now, it should be out on Monday the 19th? 18th, and then I'm gonna upload the second half of this on Friday. So we'll see how that goes. At any rate, I do have a couple of updates for you this afternoon. It's literally like 3:30 already, so I've been slacking, but I did pick up Dead Voices this morning, and I'm actually really enjoying this so far. So we're following the same 3 characters from the first novel, who are just a couple of, you know, I don't know how old they are. They're probably like 12, maybe. That sounds about right. And all 3 of them are going with 2 of their parents to a ski resort in Vermont, and it's very snowy. I believe they're snowed in, and once they get there, they realize that they're hearing these weird things. And then at breakfast the next morning, this like random dude comes into the ski resort, because right now they're the only people there because nobody else could make it there. And this dude's like, I'm a ghost reporter type thing, like he looks for haunted places. And apparently the ski resort that they're staying at used to be an orphanage or a school, I think maybe both. And there's like some weird history going on there, and we've already had some spooky happenings going on, and I just am having a good time so far. Honestly, like, actually kind of spooky. If it was night, I don't know if I'd be scared, but I would be a little like creeped out, you know, which is really my favorite kind of feeling, because it's not like too intense, but it's like a little something, you know. And then last night I only ended up reading 2 chapters of Carmilla because I got tired, and it's a good time so far. Carmilla and our main character, who I don't even know if we know the main character's name. We probably do, and I just don't remember what her name is. But they're becoming closer, they're becoming friends, and I feel like things are gonna start to happen soon, because, you know, this book is not that long. I'm already like a third of the way into it, and I'm definitely going to be picking this up later tonight once it gets dark. Originally, when I read like the prologue of this book, I said that there were a bunch of like big words in it, and while there were, like, the rest of this book is really easy to read and like comprehend and understand. Like, it's not super dense classic writing or anything. So if you're looking for a fun like vampire story, this is a really good pick, and I feel like it's really accessible. I mean, I haven't finished yet, so I don't know if I can like fully recommend it, but so far I'm enjoying it. So I also have a quick crochet update here. I already showed you that the back panel is done, but I spent some time this morning watching some Summerween vlogs, and I finished these 2 front panels. So we have this one and this one done, so now I can finally start connecting all of these, and then I can start putting the trim on, which I'm going to do in this like white-ish, cream-ish color, which I think is gonna be just a really good neutral to like just go with everything. And I think I might be able to finish this up tomorrow, probably. I'd like to say I can finish it today, but like that might be ambitious. So tomorrow's the goal. Really excited about that, but I won't have tomorrow's footage in this vlog. It'll be in the next vlog. So right now I have some errands to run, but once I get back, and then definitely later this evening, I will get back into my spooky reading, my spooky crocheting, I guess, and watching eclipse. So I'm really excited for that. I'm gonna go, I don't know, read, watch the movie, I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get there. So that's the update for this morning, or this afternoon. So my cardigan is like together, which is very exciting because I've been making these damn squares for so long that seeing like a almost kind of final product, very exciting. I'm not quite sure about the fit. It is a little bit big, but I'm just gonna wait and see how it looks with all of like the trim on it until I make final judgments, which may or may not be a good idea, but that's how I'm gonna do it. So yeah, I love the colors. It's so fun. So while I've been doing this, I've been listening to this audiobook, the History of Haunted Places in America, and actually I'm really enjoying it. It's really informative and I'm just very intrigued by everything. Right now it's breaking down like the history of haunted houses and like mansions in America, and I think the next segment of it is gonna focus on like bars and maybe a brothel. And the author also talks about a lot of books in which these have been featured, or books which these have been based on, and kind of talks about those. So I also feel like I'm kind of getting book recs, and he's also brought up a couple of books that I've read, so it's just like really fun and I'm just really enjoying it. Like I'm really glad I decided to pick it up, and I've listened to 3 hours and 40 minutes so far, so I have about 7 hours left. I think I'm gonna stop listening to it for now though and start watching eclipse because I'm so excited to watch eclipse. And I'm gonna start putting the trim on this, which I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it today, but we'll see. We'll see. So yes, there's my update. I'm gonna get working on this and I will talk to you guys later. Okay, so it is now 11:30. So I worked on, I feel like this is turning into a crochet vlog and not a reading vlog, but I promise the second half of this week will have ample reading in it. But I put cuffs on the sleeves so they don't look like ridiculously large or anything now, and I love it already. I just think it's turning out so well, and I've started to put the trim on the bottom, so I'm gonna work on that tomorrow. Definitely gonna have like a final product moment, so you should all go watch the second half of this vlog if you want to see it. I also ended up watching New Moon instead of Eclipse while I was working on these cuffs, just because this required like a lot of my attention and I needed something on in the background, but nothing that I could like actually pay attention to, you know, because these were a pain, honestly. So I'm gonna watch Eclipse tomorrow. Not that you care about my Twilight viewing experiences, but I thought I'd keep you appraised of the situation. So stuff I've read today: started Dead Voices, like I said, really enjoying it. I'm going to be reading more of it tomorrow, hopefully finishing it tomorrow. Like that seems like an attainable goal. Once I finish this, I'm gonna be full steam ahead on the reading, so maybe I can finish that in the morning. I don't know what the plans are. I'm gonna figure it out tomorrow, see how that's gonna go. And then I also read, I think, the first third of Ghostland, which I'm really enjoying. I'm really glad I decided to pick it up, and it's just like a different pace from the other stuff that I'm reading this week, so I think that'll be really fun. I do think the first part is probably going to be my favorite part out of all three, just because I love haunted houses or mansions or whatever. It talked about the Winchester Mystery House, which is just like this enormous house in San Jose. It talks about The House of the Seven Gables, which is, I think there's a book based on it, which I really want to read the book now, which is really fun. There's also something that took place in St. Louis, and I was like, that's a little too close to home, you know, I'm not into that, but it was honestly like kind of spooky. Like, it's one of the more spooky things that I think I'm going to be reading this week, just because it does recount like real things, you know, that, you know, people claim are haunted. I don't know if I believe in ghosts, honestly. But it is interesting to hear about this stuff, and I'm just really enjoying it. Like, I don't think I could sit down and like read a physical copy of this, but it's almost like a podcasty kind of vibe, and I'm into that. So yes, I'm going to go edit this video. I would like to thank you guys for watching the first half of this vlog, and if you have enjoyed, please let me know. Are you participating in SUMMERWEEN? If you are, let me know some of the books you're reading. If you're not, just give me any spooky recs you have in general, because even though it's summer now, September and October are not too far away, so that's so exciting. So, drop them in the comments down below. I need more fun or just like terrifying spooky reads, so please let me know. And yes, thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the second half of this vlog.